Hello, Vita. Welcome to my class. Today we are discussing about your second book, your second chapter, the address. The address is a story about the human predicament that follows the pre-war and post-war period. Mrs. S, who was a Jew, was a rich lady, whereas Mrs. Darling was a non-Jew. The girl, daughter of Mrs. S, had lost her house and her mother during the war, and now she had decided to come back to take her possessions from Mrs. Darling, an acquaintance whose address was given by her mother years ago. When she reached the house, the woman treated her with a cold reception and didn't let her into the house. She decided to go back anyway, and then she met her daughter, who let her in and told her to wait inside. When she was all the possessions in front of her, she couldn't connect with them and decided to leave the house. This is a little bit introduction of your chapter, and then we begin your chapter, your paragraphs. Do you still know me? I asked. The woman looked at me searchingly. She had opened the door a chink. I came closer and stood on the step. No, I don't know you. I am Mrs. S. daughter. She held her hand on the door as though she wanted to prevent it opening any further. Her face gave absolutely no sign of recognition. She kept staring at me in silence. Perhaps I was mistaken, I thought. Perhaps it is not her. I had seen her only once, fleetingly, and that was years ago. It was most probable that I had rung the wrong bell. The woman let go of the door and stepped to the side. She was wearing my mother's green knitted cardigan. The wooden button were rather peeled from washing. She saw that I was looking at the cardigan and half hid herself again behind the door. But I knew now that I was right. Explanation of these lines: the protagonist asked the woman standing at the door if she still knew her. The lady had opened the door a little. The protagonist came closer to the door and stood there. The woman responded negatively, and the protagonist still gave her introduction. She said she was Mrs. S. daughter. The woman had held the door tightly as she didn't want her to enter the house. She kept staring at the protagonist, though she couldn't recognize her. The protagonist thought maybe she had come to the wrong house. She had seen the woman only for a short time years ago. The woman who answered the door stepped aside and let go of the door. The protagonist recognized her mother's green knitted cardigans that the woman was wearing. The wooden buttons had become pale because of the washing. The woman noticed the protagonist looking at the cardigan. She hid behind the door. Now the protagonist knew she had come to the right house. Well, you knew my mother, I asked. Have you come back? Said the woman. I thought that no one had come back, only me. A door opened and closed in the passage behind. A musty smell emerged. I regret I cannot do anything for you. I have come here specially on the train. I wanted to talk for a moment. It is not convenient for me now, said the woman. I can't see you. Another time she nodded and quietly closed the door as though no one inside the house should be disturbed. I stood where I was on the step. The curtain in front of the bay A window moved. Someone stared at me and both then asked what I wanted. Oh, nothing, the woman would have said. It was nothing. Explanation of these lines. The protagonist asked the woman about her mother. The woman asked her if she had come back. She replied to her, and no one else came with her. The woman opened the door, and a passage was behind her. A stale smell occurred all over. The woman told her that she could not do anything for her. The protagonist told her that she had come from far place on the train just to talk to her. The woman told her it is not convenient to talk right now and asked her to come back later. The woman closed the door as she didn't want anyone to get disturbed in the house. The protagonist was still standing on the step. She saw a curtain moving on the window way. Someone was staring at her from inside the house. She thought it was nothing as the woman would have told her. I looked at the nameplate again. Darling, it said in black letters on the white animal, and on the jab, a bit higher, the number 46. As I walked slowly back to the station, I thought about my mother who had given me the address years ago. It had been in the first half of the war. I was home for a few days and it struck me immediately that something or other about the rooms had changed. I missed various things. My mother was surprised I should have noticed so quickly. Then she told me about Mrs. Darling. I had never heard of her, but apparently she was an old acquaintance of my mother, whom she had not seen for years. She has suddenly turned up and renewed their contact. Since then, she had come regularly. The protagonist looked at the number plate again. It said number 46. Darling was written on the plate on the white animal. As she was going back to the station, she was thinking about her mother who gave her the address. It was the first half of the war, she was home for a few days and suddenly it struck her that the room was different now. Various things were missing. Her mother was surprised that she noticed the changes a little later. It was that time when she told her about this woman, Mrs. Darling. She was an old contact of hers whom she had not seen for years. Suddenly, she came to visit her, and since then, they had been in regular contact. Every time she leaves here, she takes something home with her, said my mother. She took all the table silver in one go, and then the antique plate that hung there. She had trouble lugging those large vases, and I'm worried she got a crick in her bag from the crockery. My mother shook her head pityingly. I would never wanted to save all my nice things. If we have to leave here, we shall lose our things, he says. Have you agreed with her that she should keep everything? I asked. As if that's necessary, my mother cried. It would simply be an insult to talk like that. And think about the risk she has running each time she goes out of her door with a full suitcase or a bag. Her mother told her that whenever that woman came to visit her, she took something from the house with her, table silvers, antique plates, and she has trouble over carrying the large vase. She told her that cramp in her back came from the crockery. Her mother shook her head in sorrow. The woman kept telling the protagonist's mother she wanted to save her precious things. If they had to leave the place someday, they would lose everything. She asked her mother if she really wanted her to take all the things with her. Her mother replied that even if she didn't, it would be an insult to ask her not to. She was going out with the risk herself, a suitcase full of items. Okay, this is your today's lecture. Thank you. Have a nice day. See you for tomorrow.